Hi guys, it's about 7 minutes before 7 o'clock Eastern. It's about 7 minutes before 6 o'clock Central on this Thursday, October 18th, 2012. I'm Stephen Boyle. Well, let's take a check here and see before we actually start on what's going on across the country, let me list for you what we're going to be talking about tonight. We'll talk about these winds, how heavy they are and what's causing them. We'll also talk a little about a potential for some rains. We'll give you the rundown on that for the Northeast. We'll also be talking a little bit about, and of course we'll be doing a big old radar tour. And then after that, we'll look at the teleconnections. Are they going positive or are they going negative? We'll give you the information on that, and then we'll take a brief check on the models. So, let's begin with the winds. Now, I'm just going to briefly state here, we're not going to go take a look at the actual products that were released by the National Weather Service, the actual messages from the National Weather Service saying, oh, this is... No, I'm just going to generally summarize it for you. The areas that are under the high wind warnings are generally picking up 50 to 65 mile an hour winds, with some open areas maybe seeing 70 mile an hour winds tonight. Most of these watches and warnings should be coming to an end by about 7 o'clock Central Time is when I expect that to end. So we got about another couple hours, or about another hour before this ends here. Some areas, though, I think it is in South Dakota, they may continue to see these winds through 1 this morning. There is a high wind warning for parts of South Dakota that's until 1 o'clock tonight. So, but overall, I think by then most of the winds will be subsiding here. So let's take a check on the radar imagery and see what's causing these rains. Well, what's going on here is we have a low pressure system right here into Minnesota. This is causing some rain into these areas and also causing rain up in here. So if you were to see this in motion, you would see that this is all rotating around this low pressure system. All right, now if you move to the east a little bit, okay, you'll notice we have an area of rain right here. This is actually associated with a cool front. All right, this cool front is going to be coming through the Northeast, cooling things down to about average, I would say, into the upper 50s, lower 60s by the weekend. So we'll generally see things, cooling themselves down. We'll get some rains possibly, and that's generally what we can expect. So rains, especially from this batch here, I'm expecting this batch to be pretty intense, and this may even go off the coast a little bit, and may even produce some additional rains that may start developing. But we'll see what happens with that as we move through time. But overall, that's the situation. And these two systems are actually connected. So therefore, you can expect that, this low pressure system to continue to dive down in through the Ohio River Valley, maybe causing a little bit of showers as it moves into the northeastern regions of the country. But I don't expect much from this low pressure system, more from the cold front that's going to be moving through tomorrow. So this should be affecting the Northeast by tomorrow. All right, so moving on, let's take a brief check on the models. We're going to first look at the NAM. There is that low pressure system. There is that rain that comes through tomorrow. So you can expect some pretty nasty rains. Now there's that low pressure system. It moves northeastward. Here is the trough. Okay, this is a weak trough, but it's a trough. All right, so it is going to cool us down a little bit, and that is expected to move through, and we'll be beginning to see a warm-up by next week. Middle parts of next week. Here is that low pressure system. There is that rain that's looking like could be affecting us. Then there's that weak trough that comes in. We will probably be seeing a warm-up by sometime next Tuesday or Wednesday. And there it is. So you saw the NAM. This is the Canadian. I don't know why the euro is here. Oh, okay. I actually want to show you the euro next. So here's the euro. All right. Now there is that low pressure system. It's dropping down into the Great Plains. That's going to continue to move eastward. That's going to bring in a weak trough. Okay. That is being depicted by the green color. Okay, this is not a strong trough. You're not seeing blues in here. Just a little blue up here, but that's nothing major. The major cold is up in here, and you'll see that that's going to start to release itself here into the United States. But before that happens, we're going to see this weak ridge actually build, and we'll see some warm air. Okay, so you can see that that starts moving out, and there comes the warm air. Okay, we may see 70s into some regions, but I'm not expecting temperatures over 70 degrees through the Northeast. The warmest air will be in through Virginia, where they could be picking up some 80s. But I don't expect 80s to happen in New England, nor do I expect them to happen in New York City. But overall, here is that cold air. Now, how can I tell that there's some cold air coming? Well, we have a front. Here is the cold air, all right, and we have warm air ahead of it, so we may even get some thunderstorms being produced by this pretty intense system. Now, look at this down here. We have a little low pressure system. Now, the question is this cold front going to come to the east quick enough so that this low pressure system will have cold air to work on? Not sure at this point. That's a very good question. That is a question that will be answered through time. Notice how this low pressure system is very intense. Okay, we would be seeing some very intense rains with this. This is right off the coast of Florida. Okay, here is the cold air back here. These are very cold temperatures. This is Arctic air. All right, and this will be dropping down. But the question is will this cold air come in time? Again, that will be answered as we move on. And that is being expected by the 28th. So this is by the 28th that this scenario would be panning out. So here is that weak trough that's moving through right now. That will be moving through. You can see that there's that warm-up that we see. Not that severe. And then you can see there's the low pressure system. Okay, there's that low pressure system. There's the cold air. All right. You can see it sort of ends right here with that cold air. Here's the front, and there is that cold air starting to force its way down. Okay. Now, moving on here, this is the GFS, and the GFS is actually, you'll see what I mean when it comes in terms of the cold air. So there's that low pressure that we have right now. There's those rains that are going to move through New England and the Northeast. All right. There's that weak trough. But then there's that little ridge developing. All right. I don't expect anything extremely major with this heat. I don't expect records to be broken at all. There is that front, though. Okay, now the question is are we going to get a major snowstorm into parts of the northern plains? I would say at this particular time it's not being ruled out. Notice how intense this trough is, though. Very intense. Now, we have a little low pressure system that would be dropping down from Canada, and this may release itself into parts of the Northeast. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw most of New England pick up a little bit of a snow event here. This wouldn't be a major snow event, but it would be enough to drop a little bit of snow. I would say maybe some localized areas picking up, we'll say 5 to 8 inches of snow. That would be into way northern New England, but most areas picking up a good 1 to 3, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow. If this were to pan out, where's the boundary layer? Well, the boundary layer is right here. We would be seeing snow showers through southern portions of New Jersey and Pennsylvania with weak snows through New York City, but it will make way for possibly a white Halloween. Then major snows as we move into Maine, that could be an interesting event. Now, what's interesting here is there's that tropical system that apparently was out here it apparently gets released into the Pacific. But watch what happens with this little area of low pressure. We have notice how it's sort of being pulled. Notice how it's being pulled in this direction. Okay, very interesting, because this is what happens when you have an active southern stream. You have storms getting pulled into that. Okay, you'll notice you also have you'll notice also a storm system that forms in here, and you'll notice that this storm system is going to sort of kind of combine together. Notice how it's all as this is moving eastward, so is this low pressure system. All right, this could be very interesting if this situation were to pan out, because we have all of this moisture to work with. This is a lot of moisture, okay? This is what you would find in a very active southern stream. Now notice we have cool air set out in place. The question is would this cool air stick around? It's possible, wouldn't be surprised. And the question is could we get snow with this particular event? It's also possible. So this is definitely a serious situation, and this is by the 3rd of November. So I'm saying probably by around the 3rd or the 4th, we may actually see, and unfortunately the 4th is election day, it's definitely a possibility that we'll have snow on the ground by then. All right, taking a check here, I want to just show you what one of the ensemble members is showing here. Let me just see if maybe this is working, because this wasn't working earlier. Well, most of the members. Yeah, no. We'll just move here. This is the one I wanted to really show you guys. Notice how we have most ensemble members are indicating some snow for portions of New England. You have and the East Coast. Notice how this ensemble member is indicating snow in through the Northeast. This one is indicating snow. So this one and this one so far. This one is indicating a major snowstorm. Okay. This one is indicating a little bit of a snow event. This is indicating an approaching snow event, because you can see the snows are into portions of Missouri, or entering into Missouri. You have this one indicating snow, and this one indicating snow. So you have pretty much all of your ensemble members, except for a couple, that are indicating snow into parts of the Northeast. This one is very concerning to me. Okay, this one is extremely concerning to me. Why is that? Well, look at this. Okay, look at where all these snows are shaping up. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but this is actually in Virginia. This is into parts of New York. Now, the orange, notice how we have orange in here with red around it. That would be, for Washington, D.C., anywhere between 12 to 15 inches of snows for parts of central Virginia all the way into Washington, D.C. South central Virginia picking up as much as 1 to 4 inches of snow, 1 to 3 inches of snows. And then we have parts of New York picking up a 20 to 25 inch snowstorm. And this would all be obviously moving in this direction towards the Northeast and New England. So this would obviously be affecting New Jersey and eventually New England. You could bet your money on that one. So I'm actually looking at, and this is by the 3rd. I actually want to show you guys the what the GFS or what the GFS model is saying overall, and you'll actually be very surprised by that, by what they're saying. So we're going to kind of skip through here. There is that possible snowstorm into the northern plains. We'll continue to monitor that. That would be happening by sometime around by the end of next week, beginning of the following week. Then there's that possible snow event that we might see here into portions of the Northeast. We'll see what happens. It would be a light snow event. We'll see what happens with that. There is a little bit more of a snow event towards that period. You can see some widespread 1 to 3 inch amount, 1 to 2 inch amounts, with some areas picking up 3 to 4. Then here's that snowstorm. Okay, here's that upcoming snowstorm here that we would be watching. And notice by the end of the period, I sort of want to zoom in here into the Northeast. Notice how we have intense snows being predicted for parts of New York. We're talking about some of these areas picking up 7 to 8 inches. Sorry about that. But yeah, this would be a pretty intense snow event. This would be a snowstorm that would be moving into the Northeast. So overall, that is the situation here. All right. So, we are expected to see some snows. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if we get even worse than that. If that tropical system that you saw on the Euro that was down in here, and we can get that cold air set out, if we can get that cold air set out in time, I would say that this would be pulled up, and we could be talking about a major snow event for the Northeast. Okay, it's definitely not being ruled out. And not only that, though, there's other storm systems behind it that will be bringing snow as well. So even if we didn't get that, and even if that was rain, there's still many other systems and extreme snow events that will be happening. So overall, that's the situation. I wanted to sort of update you guys. I know you guys are kind of interested on that. You guys have been sort of following this, and I sort of wanted to update you guys. Yes, still snow possible for the Northeast and the Midwest, and it's looking like that will be happening over the course of the next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your evening, and we will be back tomorrow with another update. Take care.